Hello, friends. Welcome back to CCA. We are going to be coming at you live with a Division 5 match. This is CCA League Season 7, as you all know and love. My name is Grace, and I'm joined today, I did it right, by the lovely Rose. Yay!
You always just have to take a guess, 50-50.
I know.
It's like, oh, I don't know.
I'm just a little guy. But thank you for joining me today. We were just talking about how we just commentated for Looney tonight as well, which was a Div X match, which was nuts, crazy explosion. So we know these CCA teams can also hold their own against each other and do some really great matches for us as well. So a little bit about both of these teams because I cyber stalked them. Octos and Squids United Gray, coming out from Ohio State University, are currently 2-1 overall in their group, 8-4 in games. And both of these teams, which I think is funny, is that have both lost to Grilled Cheese Slider 0-4 and also beat Cajun Crawdads 4-0. Yeah, I said that right. So that's very interesting and funny. But a little more about New Paltz Orange Seals at SUNY at New Paltz. I love seals, so I'm very happy about that. But they're 1-2 overall, 5-8 total in games. And they, which I thought was this really fun fact, was they took a game off of Blind Salamander Artists, who is the reigning champ. I'm cooking of their group right now.
Look at there.
Because 3-0 completely. So in this set though, we're going up first for game 1 on Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. Rose, I'm gonna stop yapping. You gotta tell me about these comps.
Oh, I'm so excited. Excited to see what we got coming in here. I see a well string, not too surprising on Rainmaker. Tetras, I'm excited to see on Confetti Go over for SUNY New Paltz, and it looks like we're going to get started real quick. It's possible that OSU is going to get that quick early pop with the power of the Object Shredder power simply that's on the well string. Huge object power. And so far, they got that early pop, getting a lot of paint onto the field right now. Nobody going down yet, there we go. It's like, as soon as I see it, it's going to happen. I knew it.
No, that happens to me all the time, especially in openings when both of the teams are super even too. Interesting comps like we talked about, like the Blob, for example. Interesting. The Wellstring, I've been seeing a little more love for that weapon a lot lately too, so I'm happy to see it here. But I gotta stop yapping about these comps because it looks like Ansu here wants to make a push happen. Our friends here in the orange ink. I mean, they're kind of stationed up onto the left. Woozy's gonna come out here with this Kraken. Confetti Go is following up off of them. Oh wait, but they might try to get that right checkpoint. Oh, and they do! I can't believe they actually pulled that off with the Kraken chasing them.
Yeah, and they take out somebody with that pop from the Rainmaker shield, also really huge. Going the right side is generally not the way you want to go, and they know that. They said, we're already setting up for the left side. The right can be good for a really quick checkpoint grab, but the real points are going to happen over on that left side because you're not going to be running straight at enemy spawn. But they don't get a whole lot of points off of that. It's down to 40, and that can easily be overturned on Rainmaker Undertow Spillway. Still a lot of yellow paint that SUNY's gonna have to get through. Confetti Go is the one using these Tetra Dualies. They're gonna use a Reef Slider onto that right checkpoint. Gotta get taken out and punished by that though. Rin is holding this top right part, but at this point, they're going to be setting up for a neutral situation. Despite the aggression I see on comp-wise from the SUNY team, I've been surprised they're not diving more often. And I say that here started having the diving coming out.
Again, it's always the commentator's curse. always. Whenever you say something, they do the opposite or something explodes into your face. But with that as well, I mean, I feel like every time they try to push the Rainmaker here, they get stopped pretty well because of the explosive nature of Sunny's comp here, our friends, the Seals. Like I just mentioned, the Reef Slider came in, their Carbon's going to drop on top of them. Woozy as well is always ready to follow up off of the aggression of their teammates too. So if I'm Ansu here, and if I'm Ansu Gray, and I want to actually get a more sustained lead so that I'm not as nervous against the Seals here, I'm going to be looking to take out these members, trying to stagger the Seals a little bit better, because I think that's where that opportunity is going to lie.
I really want to see this blob pop off on here. I think there's some really fun spots you can set up on the Bloblobber. We saw them make use of that Kraken earlier, but they're going to have to get that checkpoint cleared. I think the Kraken's going to be really helpful for pushing past the checkpoint on the left. However, they're going to have to get it over to the podium first in order to clear that checkpoint. And so far, they've been going down one by one, not actually able to get a whole lot of map presence yet.
Oh, and the triple splashdown is going to get a huge double. That's going to be able to hopefully get their lead a little bit more comfortable here. But the members of the Seals, like we've been seeing every time before, every time Onsu gets into that left corner, they really can't get out of it. I mean, the members of SUNY are just so good at keeping them there. They're good at forcing them into that little corner so that they can't move up, and then they're super susceptible to all the specials that they throw at them. So once again, in the last minute of this game, Onsu has the lead, definitely. I mean, SUNY hasn't even scratched that first checkpoint to even get further up, but their lead isn't that comfortable. I'd be a little nervous if I was them.
Yeah, if OSU gets wiped out, especially if this happens after SUNY's able to clear the checkpoint, that could be a quick reverse of the lead. However, at this point, SUNY's been going down, taking a lot of fights one by one as opposed to fighting together. You see, Mello's been pulling attention away from the left. That's a thing that a Carbon can do really, really well, is force people to take multiples into fights against them. But your team has to be set up to take advantage of that. And so far, it hasn't worked out for SUNY just yet. I have faith with a little bit more work, they can make it happen. The Reef Slider's going to clear out that midsection. They're trying to make sure that they can pull some attention away from the left, but not a whole lot of people able to move in just yet. And that's multiple members down on SUNY. It's going to be so difficult for them to pop that and bring it over. And not nearly enough time to do both of those things together. So that is going to be game one going over to OSU.
Dang, I feel like the semantics of who grabs the Rainmaker is really, really tricky, especially if you guys haven't quite figured that out before the game. But I think the decision to have Mello pick it up is really, really tough because you lose your front line, you lose the shark ability of Carbon and like the where are they? That whole aspect, and aggression for sure, you lose that as well. I mean, you gain the paint that you would lose because those other teammates obviously paint way better than Mello would. But still, it's really, really tough. But something that I didn't mention before the game started, because we just got right into the first game, was that I find these two teams score-wise are kind of two sides of the same coin, in that they're kind of in the middle of the pack, where Onsu is like at the higher end of the middle ground, and then the Seals are like the lower end of the middle ground. So it's very interesting. Like they're both kind of like gatekeeping the middle as a chunk for their group. So I think that's interesting, and I think the Seals definitely have a chance to make a comeback here. There's a reason why Onsu was having such a hard time pushing here. Maybe the Seals are better at defense. Maybe that's what they're used to. Maybe they had trouble with the map. Maybe it was the weapon combinations. They weren't quite winning enough fights here. But the fact that Onsu Gray couldn't push that Rainmaker past the first checkpoint, basically, like they just got stuck at that corner every single time, it means that the Seals are doing something right.
Yeah, they didn't have a terrible defense there either. Or perhaps both teams were struggling with their offense, making it so that, that you didn't have to do too much for defense. I'll be interested to see what they do next. And I'm also tickled pink at how you've been pronouncing SUNY as Sunny. And I'm going to take that, because I say that as somebody who's in New York and like knows that it's a State University of New York, so it's SUNY. And I'm gonna start doing that to all of my friends here. I'm like, oh, you go to one of the Sunnies? It sounds
I'm
like
sorry.
No, I love it. I legit love it.
I have too much joy and whimsy in my heart. Anytime,
exactly.
Like I'm like, oh my god, Seals! Oh my god, Seals! Oh my god, it's Sunny! Like
Sunny Seals!
Like, I'm too whimsical for my own good. No,
we're whimsy maxing here.
We are whimsy maxing here, and you know what else is whimsy maxing? Tower control. No, not really though.
It's like anti-whimsy.
It literally is. Listen, I feel like people have been campaigning to get Manta removed from map lists for as long as I've been competing. So forever. No, I'm kidding. But like the tail end of Splatoon 2 as well. People do not like Manta Maria, and I get why. I feel like everyone feels like a struggle except if you're playing Bucket or other weapons that do well on ledges. Think blasters as well for tower control. Oh, blaster! Guys, I'm cooking.
You knew. You knew.
I knew I'm cooking. Confetti go. I forget what they were on that last game.
They were on Tetras.
Yeah, and
What
they're
a
on
swap.
Junior. That is so interesting. Okay.
What a swap. I like it. I like it, though. Bubble is going to be really helpful not only for the tower itself, but also holding some really key areas in street, also holding the bunker. Lots of really great places you can put that. However, SUNY New Paltz is going to be bleeding members. Is just Squid Kid alive on the decab. They're actually running a double bubble comp right there. But they're going to get taken out as well, going down one by one, a staggered wipe right there. OSU is taking advantage of that and pushing in deep with that triple splashdown, taking out one after already shooting another member of SUNY New Paltz and taking them out. There's one of those bubbles. We do have the bubble from the blaster on OSU, and with strikes coming out, that's going to clear a ton of space. This is so full gas moment for OSU.
Oh my gosh. Okay, but I mean, our Sunny Seals here, they do manage to get a really, really good pinch onto the tower. I saw Squid Kid going up there, using that little left area to try to get a little drop onto the tower. And as soon as I saw that, I was like, okay, perfect. They're coming back from this. Because taking those off angles, taking different positions from your friends there, and not just all attacking from the same shooting point is really, really important on defense when you're trying to get this tower out of your spawn, especially on Manta when it feels like, I mean, as soon as you get into that little pit area, it feels like you're just going to explode and it's over.
It's been a really strong retake from the Seals here. They do have an enemy bubble on the tower, but if they can keep this spot, that's fine. But no, going to go down to that blaster. That decal did do a great job of taking the street earlier, though. Took some really strong positions, got some really important picks, was able to get SUNY New Paltz down to the second checkpoint there. Not enough to take the lead, but if they can keep up that same energy, I have faith that they can come back.
Me too. I feel like this is a lot more of an aggressive Seals moment that we've been seeing. Like from that past game, it felt like they had so much trouble pushing up at all anywhere past that midpoint. Their defense was good and all, but I mean, that's not going to get you any points here. But in this game, it feels like they've been reinvigorated. Maybe it's the Junior, maybe it's the 50 other weapons that can do more aggressive things than Junior. I say lovingly as a Junior player. But something here is working. Because Ansu here, they have that good lead so far. I mean, it is kind of hard to crack that second checkpoint as well. Like, if I'm on the Seals, it's a little bit daunting here. But they already have two down. The last two members are in the street. They're in front of them here. If Melo's able to clutch up a pick, not quite, but they are really chipped there in that, in the street. But then Confetti Go's going to go down. The strike's coming out too. Going to pick off Squid Kid. I think this push is dead in the water, but I mean, what's not dead in the water is the spirit of the Seals, the Sunny Seals. I believe in them to make a comeback still.
They did at least take one member of OSU out as they were going down as well. And we were talking about some things that were different for this game for the Seals. The Bloblobber switched off of the Deco kit with Kraken over to the Vanilla kit with Rain. I've been seeing them throw out Inkstorm a lot, and I think it's been doing a good job of helping the rest of their teammates get in, especially this decab has been doing very, very well when they've had the support to go in and take space. And I say that and I curse them. I am so sorry.
No,
but I've seen you, and I see the vision. However, they're going to have to take this back right now. And I think on their additional pushes, they're going to have to be careful not to hold hands on the tower because the fish has got a big old stinky blaster in their hands and can do so much damage with it on tower control.
It's true. And I mean, if I'm onto Gray here, I feel like I'm feeling a little awkward because we haven't made a push ourselves in a bit. I feel like every time they try to have a little bit of lasting power here, they get picked off by one of the front lines, whether it be Melo, whether it be somebody else here on the Seals. But now we're seeing the tides turn a little bit. I mean, so far it's been a lot of back and forth in mid here, but I think with this bubble, with this Inkstorm as well, helping the tower push forward a little bit. Oh, wait, Certs is behind. Certs is behind. Confetti go. Do they know? Do they know? Okay, they do. They do bubble. Okay, the bubble's gonna help them here. Wait. The Confetti Go still got picked off onto the tower. Certs pinching the tower as well. I don't think they're going to be able to get any more points off of this, but it's now or never if they want to get the lead back here. And with the splashdown coming out, they go down on the tower. Squid Kid and Confetti Go fighting for their lives. They're all going to blow up. Devastating. And Woozy couldn't jump to the tower in time. The most scrappiest little moment I've seen on Manta Maria. I feel like that checkpoint is contentious, but it doesn't usually get contentious in that last overtime moments of the game there. So that was interesting, but still a little less convincingly here. I feel like the Seals put up a bigger fight here, but still, Ansu Gray, great showing from them. Still, after that one push, they were able to win the whole game.
That was such a good moment. Being able to push into the street with the Ink Storm was really, really important for setting up Squid Kid. Squid Kid able to take a couple people down as well. Helping people get in further was really, really important. And I think if we can set up more things like that, we're going to start seeing the Orange Seals rack up some game wins. I'm feeling them adjusting. We just got to keep adjusting more.
Yeah, I think that's it for sure, and I think it's also like the stark difference between the comps too was interesting. I like the more aggression. We talked about, we've said it a lot, but like that first game, it felt like they couldn't find their footing at all, other than like the defense. So seeing them there, they weren't quite successful on their pushes, but their defense I think somehow got better. I mean, yes, Ansu Gray was able to push up farther in their push than they were in the Rainmaker game the first time, but their defense was so much more airtight the rest of the game because despite how snowbally it feels like Manta Maria can be, Ansu Gray struggled really, really bad to get back in. And it was only towards the end where they started to see the signs and the tells of the Seals' aggression, like with Mello dropping in, with Squid Kid dapping them up and like helping them and like pinch the tower at the same time. And they started to realize that, but too late to where they couldn't get another push off of it. So all that being said, the Seals here going into Game 3, Clan Blitz Inkblot Art Academy, as we just saw, I feel like this could be their moment where they kind of show off their coordination together, because I can see it there and I can see them fighting together. Just something's not quite clicking yet.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to warm up into your set and you're just like, okay, clearly something was not working before. Now that we're 2 games in, now I think we can diagnose the problem and adjust. One thing I've had to learn very much is to not overanalyze between games in a set. You talk enough to figure out what isn't working on a macro level that we can make a quick adjustment to, and to not get bogged down by the details. So we'll see what changes they make heading into this 3rd game in our best of 7.
Indeed. That's such a good point too. I feel like I always get caught up in the micro decisions. I'm like, oh my god, I shouldn't have died there. Oh my gosh, it was my fault. That bubble was bad. But at the end of the day, it does sometimes lose you games here, but I think it is the macro for the Seals that is losing them this set so far. So going into Game 3, like we said, this is their chance to turn it around a little bit here. So looking at these comps, the Squelchies. The Squelchies, I love to see them. You love to see it here. I'm happy to see it from Confetti Go. I feel like this is our jack of all trades here with a bunch of different things up their sleeve, which I love to see. Not quite able to help their Carbon players. Oh, they are going to go down, but Squid Kid still gets in, trying to get some paint down, trying to put some presence here onto their opponent's plat. But right out from under them, the fish gets the power claim and can't run away. But still, that completely shuts down the Seals' push right out from under them.
Almost got away there, but not quick enough. We generally don't like the one and done power clam throws, but you can't deny that the Seals were setting up for a push of their own and then had to immediately give up enemy plat to go deal with that one power clam that was thrown in.
Oh my gosh, and because of that moment, never mind, Mello, that's so crazy. crazy being able to shut down that push there. I was about to say, because of that little mischievous one power clam push in where the fish got it in and then ran away, that opened up Ansu to get their own big push going, but they completely shut that down. Once again, the Seals showing off that their defense is pretty solid. If there's anything here that they know how to do, it's stop a push here, especially from Ansu Gray, despite the comp changes as well there. Like, that Octo Brush can throw a wrench into their plans, but they're not really letting it. I mean, they're pushing up together here. They're taking these different off angles. The carbon going up onto the wall makes a lot of sense here. They're able to get in the power clam. I wonder if they're going to try to back up to Zuka. Not quite. They're going to get taken out. I wonder if Confetti Go is going to be able to get any clams. No, I don't think anyone else is either. Squid Kid here on this wall, once again, trying to run up to get some clams in, and they just miss it. So they didn't get the lead off of that either.
Robbed. Basket going up and saying, no more clams for you. I'm not going to take them right now. You will have to make another push to get the lead here. We'll see if we can do more than just one power clam throws in here. Ideally, we want to set up for sustained pushes. I can tell both teams want to do this. They're just struggling to get in and have a strong offense. They've both been defending decently well, holding the space and then taking picks so that whenever a power clam does get through, there's no actual follow-up off of it.
Yeah, that's interesting here, and especially because we're more than past the halfway point of this game, Rose. So it's like something's going wrong for both of these teams, which can be a testament of the fact that, like I mentioned, both of these teams are like the gatekeepers of the midway, middle of the pack ness of Div 5 here in CCA. So looking at this now, I feel like they just like traded spawns. I literally don't know what's happening. The brush is behind them. Melo's trying to score. Confetti Go's trying to score now. The fish takes out both of them. That was probably a triple there onto Squid Kid as well. So, I mean, now, yes, the Seals now have the lead, which is awesome here for them, but it's not by that much, Rose. And if I'm going into this, T-minus 2 minutes of this set, I'm getting nervous that the fish is going to come up onto me with this Kraken and blow me up.
Yeah, with strikes coming out as well, this is definitely making sure that OSU takes back the plat. But things are going wild back and forth. It is going to be a lead swap here. But again, every time we've had a power clam go in, but nothing more. Yet again. So we are now OSU barely in the lead. That will change with a single power clam.
Yeah, and it looks like here the Seals are ready for it. Squid Kid getting a double into a triple. Good lord, they're passing clams to each other, trying to get them to Woozy. They do. They get even more clams in here. 40 remaining, which is in a good spot for them here. Certs, Squid Kid able to get a really good pick onto them as well. If they get any more picks here, it's going to be even more danger for Ansu Gray. They don't manage to get any more clams in here, which makes a lot of sense, but Squid Kid still trying to be onto this plat does get taken out. But that stops the members of Ansu Gray from getting back into mid so easily here. And we know how good the Seals are at defense here, Rose. So going into these last 30 seconds, Rin already in the bats here, flanking around. Are they going to try to jump with the power clam, Rose? Are they going to? They're sitting here. They are. They are. They're going to try to jump with the power clam. Oh my gosh. And the Seals are none the wiser. They're getting picked off on their plat as well. They're getting effectively pinched here. And there's just another power clam that goes in. 20 remaining. And now Ansu Gray's back into the lead here. I mean, it's going to take a huge overtime push. Yeah, I think they're going to get overtime. I hope they get overtime. No, Melo's going to go down with the power clam. They do get another pity. Yes, they have a bajillion power clams online, but they have to get so far up into their plat. They have to pop a bajillion specials. They have to have so much aggression to even get this lead back. They're staring down the barrel of the most evilest gun right now here. And Squid Kid goes in with the bubble, isn't able to get that power clam in. And that is the end of their push and the end of this game. Rose, that was crazy. I thought we were going to see an overtime push from Ansu Gray. Not even. They were like, you know what would be so crazy if we jump the ball in from behind you while pushing the plat so that you really don't expect it.
A great position to take. Good on them for recognizing that the Seals were not paying attention to that area and they could sneak in there. Not put down too much paint because then, if anybody opens up their map, they're like, wait, why is that not our color? What's happening? But just putting down a little bit and just quickly going, okay, jump to me. They got in so many points there.
It was a lot. It wasn't even like a little itty bitty push either. And I think I said it a few times, but I think it was that combo of them still having presence in mid. I think that's where a lot of teams
Hmm.
go wrong in the jump in pushes, where you can easily tell that it's happening because nobody's trying to fight you up front, and then that immediately draws your attention to behind you. And I think if the Seals had noticed any quicker, that push might have not been as successful there. They might have not been able to get as many picks as they did, but they didn't
Hmm.
notice. So going into game 4, though, the Seals, this is match point for Octos and Squids United Gray. This is it. If they win this game, they win this set, and that like pretty much punches in their ticket for playoffs as well too, because they're currently in the second place in their group overall here. They're currently above a grilled cheese slider, which they have lost to. So we'll see we'll see how that goes here. But they're currently in the second place. So they're in at least a good range for being the wild card pick as well here. So if you're Ansu, there's a lot riding on this. If you're the Seals, there's even more riding on this game because you have to reverse sweep to win the set.
You do, and you have to, if you want to, be able to continue onward later on. You definitely want to make sure you clinch this match win, which is a tough mental ask when you're looking at the standing right now. You're going, okay, we're 0-3, but I hope that they can think back on that previous game, the one that we just watched for Clams, and recognize we had some really, really strong moments. And let's not focus too much on the mistakes that we made there, and let's do more of what we did well, because they had some really good moments. They really threatened a game win there.
Yes, and I feel like something I'm noticing is when they go wrong here for the Seals is when Mello struggles to get in. Carbon is such a polarizing weapon to where it feels like your entire comp has to be built around them here. So they're going to go the route here to go full aggression. I feel like Squid Kid is going to be helping them get in aggressively. Woozy's going to help paint them up. Confetti Go's going to pull their attention so that they're not looking for Mello to maybe shark around and get some picks as well here. Or they're all going to try to fight at once together. But looking at the comps here onto the side of Ansu Gray as well, I like the splash. I like to see it again, and not quite many other changes and weapons that we aren't expecting there coming out from Ansu Gray here. But wait, the aggression! Okay, the 3 aggressive weapons is working out for the Seals here currently. The bubble up, very, very smart, keeps control of this little left area, and they're in a really good spot so far, trying to lock out. Oh, they exploded. Anyways, let's look away from that. Or we can't. Oh, Rin gets a double. Oh, devastating.
Stronghold so far. They are going to be forced to give up this, but you can look at that and go, okay, OSU just used multiple specials on this, and they're not going to have those ready for a retake in. So let's make sure that we get ready. Let's not go down to the Tenta missiles. Let's get some paint back up here. Let's not all go down to Certs, but Certs has been doing a great job while the rest of the team just has to hold zone. And Certs being such a dually and being like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm going to go fight you. Look at me.
Yes.
And dancing. And then the rest of the teammates coming in to help on that even better.
I was just about to say that, Rose. The fact that Certs pulled them so far into their spawn, into that little area, that corner, and then their friends followed up off of them, and they got the double off of that? Huge. So much coordination goes into plays like that. Understanding the role that you play in the team fight as being the distraction, as the dualies, is so smart. It's like a delicate art here. Speaking of delicate art, though, this lead swap. Ooh, Mello getting the double! I'm telling you, it's when Mello is able to get in, and this triple as well. That's where the Seals, that's their bread and butter here. So it has to be about that. That's their win condition, I feel, here.
Yes, Mello's been doing very, very well when they are supported, which goes without saying for a Carbon. Carbons are so good at immediately denying people, and you know exactly where people are going to funnel in through. On this map, you know it's going to be that ramp area, and Mello set up for that, and Sharked played patiently, and then punished OSU and popped up and got him, and that was a huge key moment for helping SUNY New Paltz get down all the way down to 14. What's important is to make sure they don't stagger on their retake right here. Getting a pick onto Certs on those dualies is going to be key. Woozy not dying to that splat bomb, very, very important. The blob can do a lot here. You know, like getting picks without looking at the people you're throwing bubbles at.
That's so true. Listen, the amount of times that happens to me is diabolical, so I completely understand here.
I
Despite
love
being
Blah
2
Blobber.
down. Yes, no, the what's that called? The geometry that goes into it is hilarious to me. I love it. I love weapons that test your math abilities. I think it's so funny here. But despite being 2 down, they capped the zone, bros, which is nuts. I mean, the Seals still have control of the zone. Again, despite being 1 down now, now 2 down, they're going to have to give it up a little bit here. But Search, we've been talking about them. I feel like these splashdowns are so well timed. I feel like the Seals are either never ready for it or they get it as soon as it's the most inopportune for the Seals. So it's a lot of timing. It's a lot of this where they go into this bubble. They get rid of the bubble as well. But 2 of their friends are gonna go down at that same time. So Certs, okay, they're gonna explode. I was gonna say that flank was gonna be an issue for the Seals, but they take it out beautifully.
Yeah, they took too much damage too quickly. There were many Seals right there, and good on them for turning onto it when they did. I was very concerned about going down there, but at least it was a trade. If you're SUNY, New Paltz, you're the Seals, and you're like, we have this. We need to play a really strong defense for this last minute. If we can get a strong hold going to knock this out, awesome. But you see, they're 3 down over on that side. Less than a minute left to go. We play this patiently. We hold some strong spots. And a great place to look at if you're playing Blah Blobber. Holding this area, throwing out a rain. You know that is a choke point. You're gonna have to give up the space to those hands coming down, but you just play this carefully. They almost have it. They could knock this out, but only if they keep paint on that zone. And they can do so because they're the only ones left up there. I think this is solidly going to go in their favor, Grace. They only have to hold it a teeny bit longer.
Oh my gosh. The Seals turning it around here. Reverse sweep. Well, I mean, it's only 1 game, but that's an amazing
That's how we start.
That's how reverse sweeps start. It's true. You do indeed have to win a game to make a reverse sweep happen. No, but that was like, I feel like a breath of fresh air was like breathed onto the Seals there that game. It felt like something clicked. Although 2 of them, I think, exploded to missiles, which is hilarious, and a testament to how good those missiles are always timed. I feel like from Onsu Gray, I feel like they're always at the perfect time. They always call out Mellow. Okay, that's not an example of them calling out Mellow, but that is still really good from them. But like I mentioned, this hyper aggressive kind of support for the Carbon did them really well that game.
It was very, very strong. And that's a testament to all of the players. But I think especially that Blah Blobber did a great job of knowing what choke point we need to control. We know where they're going to go. Even if we can force some of them to not go that path, we're going to split them up. Because ideally you want to make sure you're going through that ramp area. That is going to be the most direct route there. And you don't give up that high ground by going up there as opposed to dipping down onto either side into the pits. And they said, okay, we know where to go. We're going to hold that spot. We have Inkstorm. Inkstorm's underrated. Underrated special.
I agree. I think it's really fun. I also like how it kind of inadvertently helps Carbon, not because Carbon needs chip damage, because you be killing people by yourself, except for when the roller hitbox does funny things. But it really does help with the distraction kind of aspect. I feel like the second you're not thinking about the Carbon, that's when the Carbon strikes, and that's when they get the most value. So having just a bunch of stimuli in front so that the Carbon can sweep by unnoticed is always going to turn out well for your team there. And that, like we said, I feel like that was the game where they did that so well.
They did. I love Robo Ramen Zones. I think it's just a very straightforward map. You have a sense of these are the paths that people are going to go, and let's just make sure we have our resources ready to go for their retake, and then we know what to do here. So SUNY New Paltz playing that very, very well. The question is, are they going to do it again? Because they are on the back foot here. We are still at match point for OSU.
Indeed. And we saw how strangely that Rainmaker game went. I don't really have another word for it. It just felt a little awkward from both teams here. But looking at these comps, what the heck am I looking at? Okay, The Seals sticking to their tried and true what helped them win that last game makes sense here. But from Ansu Gray, Rin on the Custom Junior, the Fish going back to the tried and true well string makes a lot of sense here. Able to get that really good pick. They did get the pop. Okay, Ansu Gray gets the pop here, but they do take out certs in that same breath. So Ansu opting to grab the Rainmaker also makes sense here, but Mello here is in a sea of orange ink and does get taken out. Ugh.
That will happen if you're Carbon. Confetti Go going to go forward with the Reef Slider. Doesn't get a pick, but does clear out some space there. The Blob Blobber does go down, and Confetti Go is going to roll straight into a hammer from Fish. Does Squid Kid know Fish has them in their sights? It doesn't matter because the rest of the team is cleaning up. The Fish can very easily pop that shield by themselves because they're the ones holding the mother load of object shredding the well string.
No, that's so true, and it makes so much sense for Rainmaker. I love to see it. I like when you have something that can just pop things so easily, especially with the hammer. It's like, okay, like we've got this for sure here. And I feel like the members of the Seals know that and recognize that, and that's why they're trying to get so much aggro onto the Fish. Squid Kid with these aggressive bubbles, I love it so much, getting them so much space here. Speaking of space, getting all the way to that left checkpoint. Wuji dipping and dodging, trying their best, but they do get pinched. Rin goes down, which is great for the members of the Seals here, but still, 3DRS here with these tried and true. I don't think they switched off this pro here with the missiles this entire set because they're so good at it. But let's see how good their Rainmaker skills are here, because if I'm Ansu Gray, I want to get this checkpoint as soon as possible before the Seals start dropping on us.
Yeah, if they go down here, that's going to be pretty bad. They do at least get a trade here, but dying by a your own Rainmaker checkpoint never feels good. Mello does pop special. Is in a pretty good spot to take out Rin here. They do so. They're really holding this space, but still, members of their team are going down. That's not a lot of paint for them to work with. They're going to go down themselves. Still no pop no clearance of the checkpoint for either team here. 3DRS is the one to pick up the Rainmaker again. They're still going to go down. Both teams having a difficult time of getting in here. It's a wonky Rainmaker map. I'll give them that.
It is, and it feels very awkward, especially if you don't have a weapon that's adept on the grates here. But Squid Kid is adept on getting these really crucial picks here onto Gray. Their friend though, Mello, goes down behind them in the carnage, and they as well are going to get picked off by the Fish, who is just done an amazing job holding down this fort here. The backline is always the backbone of your comp as well, so that makes a lot of sense here. But the Fish, it is daunting to go up against the Fish here, who is the last person remaining here onto Ansu. Despite that, gets the pop all by themselves, backs up, and already has so much space here, so that the Sunny Seals are too scared to push them.
Oh, they would like to conjure some sunshine right now. They are in the lead at the funny number, but still, it's not a strong lead. OSU could take it back right now. They do have the space on that left checkpoint. Looks like they don't get the dunk. They get the lead, but they still don't clear that checkpoint.
Rose, I literally feel like my brain's gonna explode watching this match. Like, these folks are so evenly matched that neither of them can even crack their first checkpoint here. Confetti Go going down to the hellfire that rained from below them there from the members of Ansu Gray here. Mello getting another pick, which is great, but it's just Squid Kid up. They're trying to get the Fish out of this game, but Rin here is following up off of their backline as well. Ansu, once again, showing how great their coordination is. They're so ready to peel back and help the Fish that it's hard to get them down ever in this set.
Yeah, I think if at this point you're in the lead, it's a really unsafe lead. You want to make sure that you are prioritizing maintaining mid control. When you see an opening, you can go for that Rainmaker dunk, but until an opportunity opens, you need to make sure you're holding the mid. Fish is gonna have to jump out there, and this might mean that Mello can get the Rainmaker dunk. They just barely get to it. They managed to clear it. That is really good for them. 20 seconds left to go. If they can keep the Rainmaker on this side of the map and make sure not to give up too much space, don't go down here, then they could keep this going. But look at the hammer taking 3. That's so bad if you're new Paltz. They could go in here with Squid Kid. jumping them. That's gonna eat up some time. They need to clear this checkpoint, but everybody sees them.
No! Oh my gosh, the triple into the not able to get that checkpoint is so devastating for Onsu Gray here. But my god, if you are the Seals, you are on cloud 9. You are so sunny. Me and my
The
sunny
sun
Seals.
has come through the clouds now. It's like, we are
Yes.
here. Happy
my
Seals.
Squid Kid, the perfectly timed bubble. They're so good at them this set, Rose. Oh my gosh. But completely disconnected the members of Onsu Gray because you can see, okay, the fish here, nuts. We got, take a moment to appreciate. My gosh. Such a killer hammer. My gosh. And then Squid Kid here recognizes that, bubbles up, swipes at them, and then they just can't. One more for the people at home. Yeah, get woozy. Yeah, one more.
Nuts.
Oh, good.
Nuts, but you know what? Splatoon 3 is so fast of a game. And you can get a triple, but if there's still one person alive who manages to stall you, eat up enough of your time on a mode as fast as Rainmaker, that can be the end of it.
Yeah, no, honestly, maybe it was that mindset of how fast Rainmaker is that messed them up there because I felt like they were jumping the gun a lot of the time on Onsu Gray. I feel like maybe even all their pushes, arguably, they would run up to the pedestal before their teammates were ready to support them. They would run up before they knew where everyone was, where all the enemies were, and that would just lead to them getting exploded right away, especially because, like, you have a weapon that can shark so well, Mellow, you have the aggressiveness from Squid Kid, you have the flanking from Confetti Go. It's just really, really too dangerous to be making any big plays and moves with the Rainmaker in your arms if you don't know exactly where all of the seals are. So, speaking of dangerous, museums are so dangerous, guys. Never go to a museum. No, I'm kidding. But Tower Control Museum Del Foncino, I think we're going to be seeing that blaster come out again from Onsu Gray. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the same comps as Manta Maria Tower Control. I feel like they'll probably gravitate towards that again. It wouldn't be surprised if I saw the Junior again. I like Junior on Museum. I feel like there's a lot of fun angles, but they could want to do the custom Junior too. That's kind of my predictions though.
I like the Junior. I'm manifesting a Junior swap here. Being able to throw bombs, awesome. You're pretty mobile. You can just spit out paint everywhere. Very, very helpful. I would be delighted to see it again. Wait, is that a paint brush? Wait, this is totally different.
Hold on.
So different.
I have to take off my Uniqlo sweater for this. Rose, what am I looking at? There's a paintbrush from the fish. Rin is on the Junior. We know where we love her, the Junior. 3 DRS. I just said you didn't change this entire set, and now you're on 10th Umbrella of all things?
You know, they just lost the last 2 games, and they said, we need to change it up, and they really, really did. Whereas SUNY New Paltz actually is sticking. They're sticking with what's been working lately. They made a couple adjustments. And this Inkstorm from Wusi on the Blob has been really, really good. 3DRS is going to get taken out, though, because, you know, Inkvac's really strong, but it will not stop you from a decaf slashing you directly in the face. Squid Kid does it twice. Thrice. This is a great opening push. SUNY New Paltz has tons of space to work with.
They do. Oh, the pick onto 3 DRS is going to get so much room here. Squid Kid is doing the perfect job of bobbing and weaving when they need to here, but Certs pulls their attention away, and that gets that aggressiveness off the plat so that their teammates here can try to get them and stop this push here. Really, really good flank. Certs, even though they did explode there, Squid Kid's reign of terror has come to an end. That was like a crazy kill streak. I feel like that was like 7 kills. Like, that was nuts.
Really, really crazy things you can do on a decav if people do not respect your spacing. be really good from far away and even scarier up close. With that, 3DRS is going to start using one special along with the bubble to make sure they clear this first checkpoint. They do not have any specials as resources to use for this second checkpoint, which they will need to clear to start threatening a lead against SUNY New Paltz. They're going to lose that junior from Rin. Squid Kid going in, starting another reign of terror. The fish is still alive, but not able to push that in much farther. Still getting a pick, though.
Yeah, I was going to say, the fish.
Oh,
hello? Okay. I was going to say that little flank discombobulated them, and their push was a little bit dead in the water. But I do not need to speak so soon here. This storm is helping Mello get in, not quite able to get the pick there onto the fish, who lives to fish another day. But they have control of mid now, and with the lead in their clutches, offense can be the best defense here, and it looks like they want to do that as well. 3DRS going down, that's their Tentabrella, their junior going down, their main painter, their main support here. The fish going down as well, likely because of all those other picks flying out. My gosh, the Seals, woozy on this tower. The Reef Slider coming out, getting 3DRS once again, now down. Confetti Go going down themselves, but Rin is on the back foot, getting so backed up here. As the junior, you can only do so much.
I'm just a little guy. I'm just a little guy doing my best here. But, Rin held them back as best as they could. Paintbrush, you hold W, you flick. They're going to have to chew through that bubble and be very careful of Squid Kid. They do punish Squid Kid here, making sure that they do not clear the final checkpoint. If that happens, it's going to be very difficult for OSU to move forward. Getting a wipe is going to open up a lot of time for them to start setting up for pushes for themselves. However, the tower moves only so fast, so you cannot rush that like you can with the Rainmaker, which is why OSU is making sure to hold these really strong positions here. Certs would love for members of SUNY New Paltz to dive down here.
Yes, I was going to say they really wanted them to dive into their loving arms, but the Seals played that so perfectly. They were so patient, which I love to see from them, and that's kind of in their bones and their bloodstream. We see how good their defense runs in their veins, so that makes a lot of sense for them here. But Certs hopefully going to be able to get a pick here with this splashdown, but they don't. I feel like that's like one of the only splashdowns I've seen of them not get a pick here, and they are squared off into that corner, trying to take that fight against Squid Kid, but they lose. Going into the last minute here, Rose, it is looking so good for the Seals. I mean, Squid Kid here gets that kill from the grave with their suction bomb. Rin here on this junior fighting for dear life here, but you're not a Tentatech anymore. You cannot be taking these fights, folks. It is tough. It is hard out here. You're just a little guy.
Just a little guy with a lot of bombs in my pockets. At this point, your OSU, you really need to get control of your plat. Confetti Go is going to make that difficult with the Reef Slider coming out, and Wuxi knows, okay, we're going to get a lot of paint down. I'm going to flick these bubbles all over the place. Going to take someone with them, but that's 2 down on New Paltz. Squid Kid still holding enemy plat very well, though, and Mello able to make use of that bubble. Giving a bubble for your carbon is just so nice, and with that, SUNY New Paltz has tied it up. Are we going to have a reverse sweep?
Listen, Rose, when I jokingly said that, like when Ansu Gray was, I think they were 3-0 when I said that, I happily welcome it, but Seals, my gosh, it is hard to pull off a reverse sweep. You're fighting against your own mental, you're fighting against the fact that you're having trouble against the team in general already, and they've just been doing such a great job here. I mean, we see Squid Kid getting so much value. We see Mello getting so much value. Confetti Go is pulling their attention away. I mean, they're just working as such a cohesive unit. And even they're just so much stronger than we saw them in those first 3 games. Like something switched, and they realized their win condition, and they know what's working for them here. And I think Ansu Gray got comfortable in those first 3 games, and they kind of knew what worked, and they were like, okay, even if they take a game or 2 off of us, we beat them before, and we know where their faults are. But now I think they're struggling to find the faults, and I think they're clamoring, and they're getting a little bit in their heads about that it must be like a comp issue. It must be this. It must be that. But sometimes it could just be something like we need to call out the carbon. It can be something simple like that too. But whatever it is, Onsu Gray only has one game to figure it out because we're at match point for both of these teams here. This is for all the marbles, all the clams in the barnacle and dimes, all the dimes.
All the barnacles and all of the dimes. They're going to have to make sure that they control those clam spawns very, very well. More important than that, make sure you control the map. Barnacle is not the largest mall. It's a little cramped, and Carbon could have a playground here if they are allowed to shark and wait for people to come through very obvious places, classic choke points that Onsu will have to funnel through if they're forced into a retake situation. And yeah, it's tough if you go from being on top of the world 3-0 and then all of a sudden it's 3-3. At that point, you're just like, okay, all right, shake it off. Shake it off. Clearly, they've adapted to us. Let's not focus on micro adjustments. Go back again. When I was saying focus on these macro adjustments. Don't sweat it too much. You do only have one game to figure this out. But also, Orange Seals does have to pull off a 4th game win in a row. So it's going to be tough for both teams.
Yeah, and if you're Onsu Gray, I mean, and the folks at home and us, I think we know what the Seals are going to be running here. They've run the same thing games in a row because it's been working here, but looking at Onsu, going back to the Tentatech, the fish onto the ink brush, and yep, the same exact comp coming out from the Seals. Makes a lot of sense here, but Rose, this is for all the dimes, all the barnacles, all the clams, all the marbles. This is it. 3 DRS going back to their comfort pick though on that pro as well here, and I think that's going to help them. Let's see. Oh, they're standing still. They're holding hands. They love each other. They're passing clams. I don't know, but something's going on here with the Seals because they're so backed up here. Wait, are they? What's happened? Is somebody AFK? I don't see somebody. Somebody? Mello?
Woosie was not moving for a little bit. Where is Mello? There's Mello.
Mello's back there. Let's not worry about that. Or we don't have to worry about that. Neptune, I'm scared. Come
We're very scared here for the Seals with a static Mello. Ooh. But you know what? It's okay, sir. It's okay. It's all right. Squid Kid is going to start charging forward, though. Holding forward on that decap, getting a pick. They did manage, looks like, to stop this push in from OSU. And not a bad defense. Giving up some points so that your opponents go to 71 in the first minute. You can absolutely recover that. No problem.
Oh, my lordy lord. Can we get a Mello check, Neptune? Can I see where Mello is? Yep. Oh, okay.
No.
Perfect. All right, back to the action. If I'm the Seals here, I'm getting anxious because we were doing so well. They're even still doing very well because they are playing a pseudo 3v4, and I mean, Onsu Gray is still having trouble pushing here. Squid Kid getting some value, getting a huge pick there. They're holding hands in their spawn, trying to see what's happening here. But Mello, my gosh, were their chicken nuggets ready? Did their mom take their Switch away? I have to wonder what's happening right now.
Yeah, we are all anxious. But for now, you know, SUNY New Paltz just has to hold their ground at this point, which they're doing their darndest at. Woosie on the Bloblobber, throwing the bubbles around, has an idea of where the opponents are. This is a great weapon for holding this street. I'm surprised Squid Kid lived that, and fortunately, you know, was still living through that thanks to Woosie having their back here. Really, really important. This blob is absolutely holding the fort here.
Oh my lordy lord, what you really need, because you're down one player, your main aggressor here. So looking at Squid Kid, they're trying their darndest to try to keep up the aggression that Mello can. Perfect, thank you, Neptune. Still in spawn, but Confetti Go is trying to fall off of them as well. They do get a pick there. They're able to shut down the members here of Onsu Gray from trying to push up into them. The missiles are going to come out though. The fish is following up off of those missiles, and they're chipped to all heck, and they have to give up so much space. Wait, Mello just explode. Okay, is Mello alive? Neptune, can we get a... Oh, it was the missiles. It was the missiles.
Oh, the missiles, of course. Of course. Well, the Tetra's going to go down as well. The fish using the whale has located that decap and goes down to them anyway. Squid Kid been holding strong, fighting 3v4s here. Been so important to keep that aggression up, but it's gonna go down there, ends up finding themselves into a pinch situation. At this point, your SUNY new Paltz on the seals, you have to be very careful about how you approach this, knowing that you're going to be down people. Certs over on OSU has been holding strong, but I think we have to applaud SUNY New Paltz for their defense here, being down a player. They've been holding on very strongly.
That's so true, and I mean, despite all of the aggression and kind of the adrenaline that kicks in when you're in a 3v4 and you're like, this is it, this is the last game, Onsu Gray has been doing a good job as well of fending off all the aggression. Wait, Mello is back! In the last minute here, Rose, Mello is back into the game, but can they come back from this 39 remaining? A huge push from Onsu Gray here. Like we've been saying, for all the marbles, the dimes, the barnacles, the clams, this is their now or never moment, and they have to win this.
It's going to be difficult to get that many clams in, but it is absolutely not impossible. Squid Kid being forced to chase a fight here, but does win it. They need to get a power clam ready to go. Squid Kid is indeed the one with the most number of clams here. Holding on to 6, gonna get 7, gets a pick, needs to live the strikes, but going down, Rena able to help out with that, taking them out. That is gonna be so devastating to come back from. It looked like they were setting up for a really good push.
I know, oh my gosh, but they still have a fighting chance here. They have a power clam at the ready. We see Mello here back from the abyss, wherever they were. They have a lot of clams as well, and they're grouped up together. They're playing as a cohesive unit. They're like, we know the stakes of this here, and it's going to be up to Mello here with this aggression now that they're in this game to try to make something happen. But I can already see the members of Onsu Gray here throwing a huge wrench in their plan. Squid Kid's going to go down with that power clam as well, and now it's all the way onto their base. Mello here with the power clam, the only one left here. Wait, Onsu Gray broke their basket.
Did.
Okay.
Somebody was sneaky over there while we were,
Yes.
eyes glued onto OSU's own basket. But no, somebody snuck in there. And, as bad as that game feels to end on, you still, it happens. It happens. It is what it is. And you have to applaud both teams for how they played that. SUNY New Paltz held that really, really well for quite a while. Woosie doing everything to hold that space, knowing that, they're like, oh, okay, Mello, hello? What happened? I would be super interested to find out what exactly happened, but...
I know.
That blob, oh, so strong.
They did a really, really great job, despite the circumstances. But once again, applauding Octos and Squids United Gray. They showed up here. Every single game, despite going down, like losing game after game, it always sucks. I've lost to reverse sweeps, and it literally, like, all your teammates are just staring at each other like this, and you're like, like you just feel terrible. So staring that in the face and still managing to come back from this, they played that game so strong. They played all those games so strong that they lost. I never felt like they were out of this set completely. You can kind of tell when like the life gets sucked out of a team, and I feel like Onsu Gray reinvigorated themselves and gave themselves life. They revived themselves or each other.
They did. They had to make an adjustment, and even if that hadn't been a 4v3 situation, and as much, I'm also applauding New Paltz's defense there with Woosie especially. I could see they were starting to figure things out again. They were figuring out, how do we need to position again? Mello's been taking us out a lot, but not even just Mello. That decab Squid Kid was doing so much damage, so much havoc, and I think that Onsu worked together much better there. We got to see it. I'm glad we got to see both teams adapting and figuring things out for a contested 4-3 set.
Yes, I feel like this is one of the closest sets I've seen on CCA in a while, which is so exciting. We were reminiscing about the Ludi Tonight set that was so close. This was so close, which is awesome. I love to commentate these kind of sets here. And what's interesting is that I felt like through the set we could like feel the tide shifting, but then it was kind of like unsure. So then to see, because there's like the meme of like 0-4 but close, and like you write that in your results. But those first 3 games were closer, and they got closer and closer until the Steels finally were able to take those 3 consecutive games. But Gray, Onsu Gray once again taking it back. Slay to them. Beautiful.
Yes. Claps all around. Both teams, really, really impressive work. I love when we get to see in time the gears turning and figuring things out. The swap from the Blob Deco to the Vanilla Blob, I think, was huge for new Paltz. That Ink Storm did so much work for the rest of the team, setting everybody up. I can't sing either team's praises enough for what we got to see in this set. I love close sets. I don't. We love it from a commentary standpoint, where it's like, yes, more Splatoon. We love to see both teams really putting in all the work.
It's also really fun, like with league formats, whether it be Ludi, whether it be CCA. We love CCA. But seeing how how it compares going from the same mode but different maps. Like when we saw them run it back onto that Rainmaker game, and we were kind of seeing the same thing again. It was funny, but it's also interesting to see how people adapt. But I feel like we saw like a rehashing of the first Rainmaker game in that second time around on the collab leg. So that's always very fun. But Rose, I believe our time is up, and we're gonna explode now. We're going to wherever Mello went. In that last game, they're taking us away.
We're exploding like the Rainmaker when you've held on to it for too long. We're just about to pop right here, send it on over to the netherworld. Where can people find you, Grace?
Well, you can find me on Blue Sky at tubnug.bluesky.social. You guys know how it works. You can also find me on Twitter at the same @tubnug. But I don't really go on there anymore. I don't really like it over there. But you can also find me hopefully next week on CCA as well, also on Ludi Tonight, also on IPL streams as well. I love commentating and I love TOing. I am a double threat of doom and despair. But what about you, Rose? What about you?
You can find me over on Blue Sky as well at Rose of Battle. I also stream occasionally over on Twitch and also post videos occasionally over on YouTube. All Rose of Battle everywhere, and I would not be surprised if you see me back on CCA again, or any of the other places. Ludi Tonight for Splatoon Tourney, various things happening over at IPL. You'll see us again. Hopefully Grace and I will be commentating together again.
I would love that. Thank you for joining me. Thank you folks at home for joining us, and another huge congratulations to Octos and Squids United Gray going 4-3 in this set. Big day for Ohio. Big day for them. But that's it from us. We'll stop yapping now. Let Neptune get to bed too as well. Thanks for joining us though. Great game and good night.
Good night.